Alright, welcome to part 2 of the Facebook navigation tutorial where we'll be sliding things to the left and to the right using view controllers and weird things like that. Alright, so here we go. Spice things up a little bit. We're going to add navigation up top. Call this main view. And I want a button. So for this button, I want to make it the actions one because it kind of looks like something's sliding around. Alright, looks like it pushed it off to the right or something, I don't know. So to edit the screen underneath it, what I do is I go to this ruler tab here, inspector tab, and just make the X exactly what it would be if you were running the app. Make it 260, and you could edit things. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Now this gets a little bit tricky. We actually have to put two on top of each other to make it look right. So for bottom layer, first off, this should be, the lower down it is on the list, the closer it is to the user, like what you see, if that makes sense. So for here, I'm going to take this out, and I'm actually going to put two of these, one that extends the whole width, and one that extends the normal width. Okay, so for this one's going to go on top, and I'm going to make this width 260. And you'll see now it's actually centered properly. Make this menu, because that's most likely what this will be. I don't know, you can make it whatever you want though. Let's throw in a bottom bar for fun, why not? So bottom layer, there we go, bottom bar. Again, we have to use two of them, and I'll show you why. I'll explain that a little bit later. Here's our next one. And this one is the one that we're going to make a width of 260. Whoops. Width 260. And let's add flexible spaces here for fun. Alright, maybe we'll make this I'll make it the add one. Cool. So there's a little layout that we got going right now. And yeah, let's get the table view in there. So we're going to drag our table view out and position it. Now I want the background of the table view to be the same background as the view itself. The reason for that is because, for the same reason that we added two things before, if you slide the view over too much, you want it to look normal. So I'm going to say group table view background. And I like group better, I think it looks cooler. So that's what we're going to do. This table view has to be below the layer. Actually, it should really be below everything, to be honest with you. Okay. Cool. So let's bring up our little split here. I'm going to go to the interface file, and I'm going to drag this out. I'm going to call this table view. And I'm going to make another property for the data. So this is going to be an NS mutable array. This is stuff that you should know, but whatever. We're going to call this data array. And okay, so very important. So we're not using a table view control here. So how in the world are we going to be the delegate and the data source if we're not a table view controller? Well, very easy. Actually, UI table view delegate and UI table view data source. Lucky us. So let's go over here and synthesize these. It should be yelling at me right now saying that I'm not implementing required methods. That's what this is saying up here, but we'll get to that later. So let's do self.tableview.delegate equals self, because we are the delegate. Do not forget this step. It's very frustrating when you do. Data source equals self. Cool, so now how in the world am I actually going to implement those methods? Well, I'm actually going to cheat. I'm just going to make a new a new table view controller and just grab them from there because that's easier. And don't forget to initialize your data. Hopefully you guys know that already. But let's go File, New, File, UI View Controller subclass. Make sure it's a table view. Name it whatever. And I'm just going to steal these methods. These are the only two I need for this demo. So I'm going to steal them. And I'm going to delete these because I don't need them. Okay, let's go over here and actually implement them. That won't be complaining at me anymore. So for this, self.dataArray.count, that is the number of rows we want in section 0. I'm not adding any more sections. For this one, I'm going to say cell.detailTextLabel.text equals, I don't know, here. That'll do. And we'll make this one more interesting. Cell.textLabel.text equals and a string with format. We're going to say, I don't know, say cell. Yeah, I'll do that. Index path row +1 because it starts at 0. Cool. And I'm just going to add. I'm going to add random things in here because obviously it doesn't matter. I just want you guys to see that this does actually work. Okay, so we should have 4 things in this array. Let's go back to our storyboard. Make sure we set the reuse identifier to whatever you want. I'm calling it cell because in here, this is called cell. Okay, when I run this, I'll run it again. Notice we have view controller. Okay, and this still slides. So let's make this button actually do something. Storyboard. Let's split this up and go to our implementation file. And let's control drag here. I'm going to call this toggle layer. Alright, so for toggle layer, pretty easy. If self.topLayer.frame. Oh, you know what? Who am I kidding? We have a layer position. If self.layer position is equal to view hidden, then I need to show the view. So self animate layer 2.0. Cool. Else self animate layer 2 point view hidden. If it's not hidden and you hit the button, you probably want to hide it. Cool. Let's run that. Now our button slides in and out, and you can also slide here, just like the actually Facebook doesn't let you slide the actual view; they only let you slide up here. But I think this is cooler anyway. So this looks kind of weird. You can see up here how it's like looks like all one color. That is easily fixable, but we will have to save that for the next video. Hope you enjoyed part 2. Stay tuned for part 3 where we are going to do styling, drop shadows, and stupid things like that. See you next time.